Notice of a special and regular meeting of the City of Friendswood Planning and Zoning Commission to be held today, Thursday, October 4th, 2018, beginning at 7 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall, located at 910 South Friendswood Drive, Friendswood, Texas. With respect to the special meeting, Resolution 89-4 for the Capital Improvement Advisory Committee requires 6 members to constitute a quorum, which is a higher standard than normal Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. Due to the lack of the 6-member quorum, we will not be calling the special meeting to order. This item will appear on a future Planning and Zoning agenda. So, to the regular meeting. Item 1, call to order. Item 2, communication from the public, committee, and committee liaisons. To comply with provisions of the Open Meetings Act, the Commission may not deliberate on subjects discussed under this agenda item. However, the Commission may direct such subjects to be placed on a later regular Commission agenda for discussion and/or possible action. Is there any communication from the public? Anyone from the public who would like to speak to this group? Seeing none, we move on to item 3, consent agenda. These items are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless a commissioner or citizen so requests, in which case the items would be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Today, all we have on there are the minutes of meeting from September 20th, 2018. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor? I see it unanimous. Action items. According to the Planning and Zoning Rules of Procedure, R 2010-09, all actions of the Commission shall be made by an affirmative vote of 4 or more members of the Commission present at such Commission meetings. The first action item is consideration and possible action regarding the preliminary plat of Georgetown Boulevard Street Dedication Section 2, which is a subdivision of 3.809 acres located in the Hooper and Wade Survey, Section 22, Abstract 491, and I&GN-RR Co. Survey, Block 1, Section 23, Abstract 624, Friendswood, Galveston County, Texas. Whew. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second? Is there anything, is the contractor or the project owner here today? I guess not. Anything you want to tell us about this, Aubrey?
This is just this is the Boulevard Street dedication that's part of the conceptual plan of Georgetown subdivision. The applicants presented that to us, I think about a month ago. The section 1 of this boulevard is the section that's outside the city limits. It's actually in the city of Alvin. So they're going through Alvin and Brazoria County to plat the section 1, and this is where it starts to be inside our city limits. So this is just the Boulevard Street. And this is the preliminary plat. You'll see it again when they're ready for final plat.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this? Anyone? No? Marcus? No? Me either, just a extension of a new road. So, seeing no more discussion, all in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 5, consideration and possible action regarding the preliminary plat of Georgetown Section 1, a subdivision of 15.144 acres located in the I&GN-RR Co. Survey, Block 1, Section 23, Abstract 624, Friendswood, Galveston County, Texas. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thanks. Do I have a second? Okay, it's been motioned and to approve and seconded. Is there any discussion on this item? Oh, staff, you want to talk about it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is section 1 of that same development. So I believe there was 33 lots in this first section. And they meet all the requirements. They had a few minor compliance memo items, just cleanup. But again, you'll see it on for a final plat as well.
there any items you want to discuss? Anybody? Brett, you good? Marcus?
I'm good.
And Lisa?
Is this the one that had, oh, it needs to be red?
You need to turn it on if you want to talk, yeah.
Is this the one that had the sidewalks that didn't go all the way around on some of the areas?
We were gonna do like we did with West Ranch, where they have big reserves, and they have to put sidewalks in those reserves. There's a generic note on the plat, but we're gonna have them call out the specific sidewalk requirements along the roadways.
Okay, I can see it's highlighted on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's a good idea. Thanks.
And for myself, I'm just pleased to see the nice large lots, 90 by 130. I think this is going to be a nice addition, and I plan to be voting for this. So, with no other discussion, let's put it to a vote. All those in favor? Again, showing to be unanimous. Item 6, consideration and possible action regarding the preliminary plat of Georgetown Section 2, a subdivision of 40.675 acres located in the Hooper and Wade Survey, Section 22, Abstract 491, and INGN RR Co. Survey, Block 1, Section 23, Abstract 624, all in Friendswood, Galveston County, Texas. Do I have a motion? And a second? Thank you. Aubrey, anything different on this one that we need to discuss?
This is Section 2. I think it was similar comments as Section 1. I believe this section had 68 lots. And again, just the 90 by 130s.
Good. Anything? No?
There was,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
So there was something that I understand whenever I was looking at it. You had, on corner lots, you had X's on some of them. Is that indicating where the driveways need to be on those?
Those, we actually, if there's corner lots, we ask them if they want to limit the driveway access. And they did. So they'll add a plat note on there that when those homes are built, they'll face the front, and they can't have like a second driveway to the side street. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else, Lisa? Marcus, I don't know if I skipped you or not. Do you have anything?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the open area to the left. There's a section called A, B, and B. Those are retention ponds, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. Are those going to be like a decorative thing, or are they just going to be, do you know, probably unfair to ask you, but
They will be amenities for the subdivision.
a walking
wetlands.
trail around it, that kind of thing?
I don't know that they're they haven't really come forth with all of their amenities yet. I know they had mentioned maybe working with parks to get, to provide some amenities to maybe get some credit towards their park dedication fee, but they haven't come forward with any specific plans yet.
Okay. So it was kind of divided in half. Half was labeled A, which is the detention purposes, and half was, a part was listed as B, which is restricted to recreational purposes.
They will have a private recreation facility there.
So that's not going to be a detention pond, and that part would have either some kind of clubhouse or something of that sort.
Yeah, swimming
Okay.
pool, splash pad, kind of.
Got it. And as this progresses, this will show more detail on this and other drawings of what's included there, presumably?
For the rec center or for the detention?
Well, yeah, for what they're going to be doing with these other areas. They document quite well how the houses are laid out, all goes in. I didn't know if there was going to be more documentation on this big empty space that's part of this, what we're agreeing to.
So engineering and the drainage district will review the plans for the detention pond. I mean, you won't see detailed plans on that.
As long as they do
And
it.
then the rec center, we will bring that to you for site plan approval.
Thanks. Yeah. So with no more comments, all those in favor of approving? And we're good. Item 8, communications. Communication from our commissioner. We have Sally with us today.
We need to do number 7 first.
Oh, sorry?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, skipped right past 7. Consideration and possible action regarding future P&Z Commission meeting dates. Aubrey.
Our next regular meeting, we are not having due to the APA conference, so there would be no meeting on October 18th. And then for Thursday, November 1st would be our regular meeting in November, but we do have 3 applications for joint public hearing with City Council, so if we could entertain a motion to move that November 1st meeting to November 5th. And then the second meeting in November would be the 15th.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to move the meeting? Do we have a second?
I'll second, yes.
Okay. Do we want to discuss it? Is everybody available on the 5th? We good? Okay. So all those in favor? And that approves too. Now, communications from our commissioner. Thank you, Sally. Okay. This includes suggestions for future agenda items, comments, updates from liaison assignments. So I guess we talk anything that any of the commissioners want to bring up. No? Nope. This is a fast meeting going here. You
Well, actually, I still have not received information on the,
Keep Friendswood beautiful?
Yes.
I emailed Kim, so I will remind her.
and I think the last meeting was this week. I think
The
it was on Tuesday, but I still have not received any information on that.
Okay,
So I'd like to meet that obligation, but I have to know where and when. And
right, okay.
Anything else? Marcus, I never remember if I skipped you or not. No? You good?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. The only thing I wanted to mention is I watched the last P&Z meeting. I wasn't at it, so I was watching it on YouTube. And what I noticed is we are really poor at microphone etiquette. And if you're trying to watch these, if this is your source of information on it, typically there's a lot of talking, and you catch all of that, and then there's something interesting that comes up, and that's the part where somebody else is talking and there's no microphone. And so for me, it was very hard to follow because all the interesting bits, there was no microphone, and everybody in the room heard it except the person watching on YouTube. So what I was going to try to do is remind people about microphone etiquette. I talked to Jeff beforehand. It is okay to leave your microphones on, just don't have any sidebars. And so just be careful about having discussions. Don't say something you don't want that becomes part of the minutes. But sometimes that might be better than trying to turn it on and off each time, because I notice that Lisa especially, or just tonight, I've kind of been policing you, giving you a hard time.
to me, a red button means off. But on this one, the red button means on.
Yes,
That is totally opposite. I'm just saying.
and just for your information, only half of your comment got heard,
Yeah, because I thought it was on.
because you had it turned off, right? Yeah, right, okay.
Can we just make a policy that microphones stand on all the time? Just leave them on.
Yeah,
That'd be a lot easier.
but keep the sidebars down, and I think it works better. The other thing is, last week we had a fellow who came to the lectern, and he kept being asked questions, and he kept walking away. And then he'd sit down, and we'd ask a question, and he'd answer it. And then we'd say, you got to go to the lectern. We'd go to the lectern, but he'd already said what he was going to say, and you never got to hear it if you were watching. So I don't know how many hits these meetings have, but if you really want to get any information out of it, you need to have the microphone on, because it just, everyone in the room understands it, and everyone who's watching it has no clue of what's being said. So with that, now we will go, did I already ask the council liaison? You had nothing you wanted to speak about, Sally? You have to go to the microphone.
Just got through spending 15 minutes on that, right? I guess you're going to bring up the downtown district changes subcommittee, and I would like to be a part of that subcommittee if I may, just so I'll be much, much smarter when it comes before council. So I just want to throw that out there. But I think, seriously, I think y'all are doing a great job, and I really appreciate all your efforts. Y'all make things easier for our citizens, and I know you work hard to streamline the process and move things through quickly. I got to sit in on a meeting today where I saw that in action, so I just want to thank your fearless leader in particular for her efforts on that. So thank y'all for the great job you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sally. It's good having someone as a liaison who is very knowledgeable about what we do and has been doing it longer than any of us up here. So thank you. Staff, Becky, anything that you want to bring up? Okay. Aubrey?
Yes, so we have our planning subcommittee and our ordinance subcommittee, and Becky's working on the zoning ordinance rewrite, which is kind of just at staff level right now. There's really nothing for the ordinance subcommittee to do. But we do have a growing list of items for the downtown district that I would like to get the ordinance subcommittee going on. We have a list. Like I said, it's growing. The downtown district boundary, I'm not going to go into great detail. I'll just summarize kind of our the list. So it's the boundary, the permitted uses in the downtown district, head-in parking distance requirement, building facade materials, fenestration, electric underground, service laterals being underground, and then any COD requirements that need to be incorporated into the downtown. So it's a brief high-level list, but so we'll get the ordinance subcommittee going soon to get some, hopefully some momentum going on these changes, if any. And then also the September 2018 DRC report was in your backup material and on the online in the linked agenda. So if y'all have any questions about those development meetings, let me know.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I do. I know that you asked us to sign up for one or the other of those subcommittees.
Mm-hmm.
Can we be on both?
I can
We'll
answer
have
that.
to-
I think there is a limit to the number of planning and zoning commissioners that can be on it to comply with the Open Meetings Act. And so we can only have 3, I believe.
Yes.
And so the ordinance subcommittee, last time we looked at it was myself, Dick, and you, Marcus. I think what I heard was that the mayor had asked if we could have our real estate person as part of that. So what I'd like to do is talk to Joe and make sure he's okay, and we'll figure out who we'll swap in and swap out to maintain the limit on how many people are on there. What kind of timing are you looking at, Aubrey, for trying to get these things addressed and in front of City Council?
As soon as possible. The
That's fine,
downtown, the boundary item on the downtown district is a key item. We have a person kind of waiting in the wings to turn in a zone change application. So if we see that some of the other stuff is going to take a little longer, maybe, if we have a few items we could get through sooner than later, we can figure that out. But
Okay. And the steps would be that the subcommittee makes a recommendation, then the entire Planning and Zoning Committee group council talks about it and agrees to it. So we could not have it on the November 5th meeting. It would have to be after that because we need a separate meeting of our own before we could get it in front of the City Council.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at, as a fast track, December.
Yeah, and so after, if the commission agrees, on some changes, then we would workshop those proposals with City Council and make sure they're on board with it. And then for the official changes, it requires a joint public hearing, P&Z recommendation, and 2 readings of
So
council.
it's probably even longer than that. Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's helpful. Well, I've run out of paper on my agenda, so I think we're now to item 9, which is adjournment. Thanks very much.